But Senator Samson Cherargei will be joining us shortly so that we can look at what's making headlines in the papers. But first, we begin with what's on the front page of the Standard. Storm as Ruto admits Western land irregular. Deputy President's confession during BBC's Hal Talk show on Weston Hotel ignites debate with some leaders excuse me, asking him to surrender the multi-million shilling property. That story is on page 6. Excuse me once again. And his admission that Weston sits on land that was acquired illegally by the person who sold it to the hotel in which he has interest has kicked up a storm, with some people demanding the surrender. So the confession by the DP is a positive step, but he should now hand it over to the government to demonstrate good faith and integrity. But again, why did he have to take this long to make the confession? That's according to nominated Member of Parliament Godfrey Osotsi, who spoke about that piece of land. The same story is on the front page of the Daily Nation. That only Uhuru matters to me, declares Ruto. The person that matters to him is Mr. Kenyatta. There are many people who are opposed to his candidature, that he said, but there are millions who believe that he is fit for the job. It will take the entire Jubilee Party and 45 million voters to decide who becomes president. Of course, we do not have 45 million voters, maybe population of 45 million Kenyans. The voter population, as per the latest figures, is about 19 million people. So I want to begin with that story, Senator Mwaura, and Kenyans have been asking this question, that any other person who is found to have illegally acquired land, it's repossessed from them. But now, this National Land Commission gave a ruling and indicated that the owners of Weston Hotel can keep it, but the people who sold it to them should make, what do you call them, reparations to the KCAA. Isn't this double standard? And what, in his capacity as the Deputy President, can he do for the sake of a government being seen that it's sticking to the rule of law?
Yeah, this is a very interesting scenario because we must be consistent in the way we deal with the public issues. I think the Taj Mahal was brought down under the basis that it was occupying some road reserve. There is also that other mall opposite
South End. Yeah,
it's the South End Mall. And so really the Deputy President has spoken about this issue. It has been lingering for some time. It's interesting to see what happened in the National Land Commission because we are told that somebody signed a document and another one wanted to call for a meeting, then it was stopped by the court because the tenure is over and all of that. And by the way, we had a lot of hope with the National Land Commission. When it was constituted, we thought that they would actually help in dealing with these issues. But it is not good to look like there is an uneven application of the law, where if it applies to a powerful person, the laws change. The law is changed to suit that outcome. So really, this is a matter that will be looked out for, because if we do not deal with things fairly, then what we are saying is that we'll encourage other people to use the same means. And that is why you will even hear people like the UK, mall also saying they need to be compensated. So there must be consistency in which we apply the law. And really, we even had an amount of money that was given, is it 350 million for the cost of the land. It remains to be seen what happens. But I don't think it augurs well if there is such an inconsistency with regards to how we approach such an issue going forward. Because if it is public land, it is public land. That's what I would want to say.
So what can he do? Because now he says that, let me say that, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, having been restituted to its initial position, only then can the Commission regularize the title to Weston Hotel. That is according to the NLC. But the Deputy President was saying that he's doing everything possible to legally and constitutionally regularize the ownership of this parcel of land to Weston. What can he do, based on what you have said of consistency? What should he do?
I think it's a very difficult issue because already an illegality has been committed. Public land was taken into private land to become private property. So really, is there any kind of procedure where such has happened? I think this is going to be a landmark case on how it is canvassed, so whether it is using political muscle, but I don't know whether there are any constitutional means to follow, because the law is very clear that public land is public land. So let's wait and see what comes out of it. It's a very an easy position to be in, because then the tacit admittance that this is public land in itself, you know, reeks of some form of, you know, maladministration. And I don't think anyone would be happy to find themselves in the situation that the Deputy President is finding himself in. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And I remember the last time we hosted Professor Mohamed Sozuri on this show as the chairperson of NLC. He spoke that that decision was made without him, because at that time he had left office. Then when he came back, the investigation into the KCAA versus Weston Hotel had already begun. So he sort of didn't own that decision. The term for NLC is coming to an end on February 19th. That's next week. And the chairman has been barred from conducting any business within the commission. Is there a way out, for instance, for KCAA or any public official who may want to fight the decision by National Land Commission?
I think it's quite strange, because if a term has not expired, a term has not expired. So people who made such decisions and those who have gone to court, obviously there's something they are trying to protect. But this is Kenya.
What do you mean? What do you mean with that?
I mean, this is how things happen, and these are some of the things that make Kenyans feel like, you know, it's not fair. I mean, it's not fair. You know, you remember when Maraga was saying that, you know, that he needs evidence in court. But if you have money, you can make evidence disappear. So it's really a question of who pays the piper, who calls the tune, the discord between Abigail Bagaya and Muhammad Sawazur. I thought Sawazuri is the name for...
Suzuri.
Yeah, it's Sawazuri actually. That's the
really?
actual, yeah, Sawazuri, yes. That's the actual meaning. So I thought that it would be proper to have him there, but clearly we have not seen a lot of goodwill coming from the National Land Commission as we expected. Okay. So I would want to say that there are no direct answers to this question. It remains to be resolved, but it has a serious impact on how such cases will be prosecuted in future, because it is establishing a precedent. I'm sure there are some people also who will rush to court, maybe out of public interest, to try to canvass and safeguard public land. So I don't know. Let the sleeping dogs lie. I'm sure something will come out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I will revisit that interview with the BBC later on when Senator Sozuri is here. But first, before I do that, I just
Senator Cherargei.
What did I say?
Senator Sozuri. Maybe you are predicting he can as well join Parliament, no, because after people serve, you know, such positions, they end up in the Parliament.
No, Senator, don't utilize it's a slip of the tongue. I didn't mean that. Anti-Corruption Court bars Sozuri from visiting office. That is on page 7 of the Daily Nation. And the order comes as DPP files suit accusing the National Land Commission chair of interfering with the witnesses and crippling commission operations. I just want to, yes, you said that the term of the NLC is coming to an end, and you have made your comments. But I'm just wondering, this is not the very first time that Sozuri is finding himself on the wrong side of the law in terms of being barred from conducting business. And now, today is 13th. In 6 days' time, his term expires. But then again, there's still a case that he's facing in terms of the payment for land that was used for SGR alongside Kenya Railways Corporation. So with all these legal businesses and stoppages that are happening, do we really have a solution in ensuring that people who are actually holding public office are brought to book and in good time?
It's becoming a charade, because you see now the issue that is at hand is about the illegal compensation for the SGR land, and on the other hand we are also looking at illegal acquisition of public land.
Right.
So at the end of it, there could be some schemes here and there, but it's unfortunate that then some of the people who have been sworn to protect the Constitution and were put in place to, you know, to be the guardians of public interest are the ones now who are accused of, you know, abusing, their power. And so I think it's unfortunate that Sawazuri has ended up his term that way. It reminds me of other commission chairs like the IEBC ones, and it's like it's a poison chalice when you get these kind of appointments. Remember very well, it took very long for the National Land Commission, even after gazettement, for them to take office.
Yes.
So really, let's wait and see, because by the end of the day, the DPP has got something to prosecute. But I would want to imagine that sometimes it's very good. I don't know that it's power that corrupts absolutely. Land has been a very contentious issue in this country.
Right.
And we expected that such individuals then would be able to, to be over and above the trappings of power and maybe personal considerations, accumulation of wealth, and all of those. But clearly, when you see such, fights around, compensations about possessions of land, and this just could be the tip of the iceberg. We want to know within, the 6 years that the NLC has been in office, the commissioners, we need to know, whether there are other things that have been hidden under carpet. You remember there were also issues to do with the signing of leases, which was a big issue between the then Minister for Land, Cabinet Secretary Charity Ngilu, and against Awazuri and others. So it's something that we need to interrogate further, because NLC was supposed to be a solution. It was not supposed to be a part of the problem. Right. Ideally, we are hearing the same stories like we used to hear from the Commission of Lands. Yeah.
All right, and of course, on page 9 of the Standard, there is another story of that particular situation with the National Land Commission, and members of Parliament have opted out of Suzuri fraud probe as tenure at NLC ends. We see that the Speaker, Weston Hotel, yesterday referred some petitioners who wanted the National Assembly to investigate. Let me see. The land sector non-state actors wanted MPs to investigate National Land Commission Chair Muhammad Suzuri, the Vice Chairperson Abigail Mbagaya, and Commissioner Clement Isaiah Lenachuru over their alleged involvement in fraudulent acquisition of land belonging to state agencies. So the Speaker, Weston Hotel, referred them to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, since the term of the commissioners is set to end next Tuesday, making their prayers before the House time barred.